Okay, welcome to Starbase Nerdtron. Today we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which just came out today, Thursday, May the 4th, which screwed me up because May the 4th is traditionally a Star Wars related day, and it was weird to have the conflicting messages in my brain. So I saw this in a Dolby Theater at 3 in the afternoon on a weekday, and it was mostly full, which surprised me. Okay, let me just get the overview out of the way first. I liked this movie a lot. This was one of the better Marvel movies I've seen in a couple of years, and I thought it was actually better than Guardians 2. Doesn't quite reach Guardians 1 level because, that was kind of the trailblazing one, and, it's hard to match that. But in terms of the emotional beats and the humor and everything, I think this hit a lot of good, solid notes there. Let me get some of the bad stuff out of the way. I thought that the choice of the music, because music is really important in these Guardians movies. In the first one, it was all off of Quill's mother's mixtape that he had made for him, and then they did the same thing in Volume 2. So the music's kind of tonally appropriate to what we're seeing and to Quill's emotional state and everything. The music here, and I did hear or read an interview with James Gunn, and they said that they did this deliberately. They went away from that. It was much more of a eclectic mix of rock songs and a few ballads and things. It didn't really have that same emotional resonance that the music in the first two did, and I think that was to its detriment. The choices of songs were kind of weird in some places, and they just kind of dropped them in out of nowhere, and then they would cut them out in mid-song. It was odd. It didn't work the same way it did for the last two movies. The other thing one of the other two things I wasn't too pleased with was the third act does devolve into a little bit of CGI soup at times. It's a little better than in some previous movies because there are enough human actors in the scene that your eye has something to focus on and so forth, but it was still distracting. Things flying by so fast, and things just tearing around, and it's very hard to keep track of when it's all these CGI monsters. So that's one of the other things. And the other thing I didn't care too much for was the way that Adam Warlock was handled. I'm not going to get into spoilers in this video at all, but I wish they had gone with a little more comic accurate portrayal of Adam Warlock. That was, it's a writing choice, and I get it, and I know why they did it, and I still didn't like it. Now, for the good stuff, I thought the movie, as I said at the beginning, thought the movie as a whole really worked. There are some emotional beats in here, especially when they go into Rocket's origin story. I mean, they are like really just emotionally rending. I mean, there are some really powerful scenes in there that really are emotional, just gut punches, which is good. It works to the benefit of the film. Another thing I really liked was the humor. They didn't just throw humor everywhere in the most goofy way possible, like they did with like Taika Waititi did with Thor: Love and Thunder. This was not that at all. There was humor. I mean, it wouldn't be a Guardians movie if Drax and them didn't have really funny lines, but it's not over the top, and it's not constant, and especially with those darker emotional beats, it really works well. I actually, when we were watching the trailers before the movie, I turned to my wife and I said, I would really appreciate a more serious Marvel movie. And while this doesn't rise to the level of like an Endgame or an Infinity War by any stretch, it definitely, the humor is present and effective, and there were some laugh out loud moments, but it doesn't overwhelm the rest of the movie, which I really, really liked. We saw genuine character arcs from a lot of the characters, either self-contained within this film, some of them, and some of them are resolutions of character arcs that started in the first film. They definitely they definitely took the characters where they needed to go. They knew this was kind of a swan song for this particular franchise, and they really did it justice with the characterization and so forth. It really worked. We also got to see a little more of other characters that we've seen in some of the movies. We get Cosmo the Space Dog. We get Kraglin has a lot more to do in this movie. It's even Kraglin has an arc. It's really great. It's they hit a lot of good emotional beats outside of Rocket's arc. And, it just, on the whole, I was really, really impressed with this. In the hierarchy of Guardians movies, I would put this number 2 out of 3. In terms of Marvel movies overall, I'd give this, I would definitely put this in the top 25%, top quarter. It's really well done. I hope it does well. It's, if the rest of the movies in Phase 5 are like this, I will be very happy, because this, there were no cringy moments. There was, no over the top humor. It really worked on a bunch of levels. It was firing on all cylinders. So definitely recommend seeing this movie. Go see it. There's two. There's two mid-credit scene. Well, one mid-credit scene, one end-credit scene that are worth watching. And hey, that's my recommendation. I'd give it 3.5 or 4 stars out of 5. And like I say, I recommend you see this movie. So, hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Starbase Nerdtron signing off.